Welcome to another episode of Out of the Pods. I'm Deepti.
And I'm Natalie. And guys, we are recording at Spotify Studios today in New York City.
Woo!
We are so excited about this. We have not shared it with anyone yet, but we have recently partnered with Spotify. And so that's why we're here recording in their studios. And so this is like a huge milestone in kind of our podcasting careers and for this podcast. And so, yeah, it's just been really exciting to see like where this podcast can go. And I think Deepti and I just want to take this time to thank all of you guys again, all of our listeners, our little community that we created that is growing every day for just like tuning in, listening, giving us advice, providing questions for us, challenging us when necessary, because it's been really, really fun. And also, I just want to tell you, Deepti, like I am so glad that you are my co-host and my partner in all of this.
That's so sweet.
Like when we decided to just like launch this for fun, this podcast for fun, I would have never like just guessed at all the things we could have achieved with this, but also I'm so glad that it's just been you. Like, you know, like I'm so glad that you have been my partner in this because I definitely couldn't have done this alone or with anyone else.
Aw, thank you. Oh, you guys, she's actually tearing up.
I take everything back.
No, that was really sweet. And I think we've talked about this before. Like, it's been such a journey that we've been on, and it hasn't always been easy, but to have you by my side and, you know, to just have like someone to like cope with and also just like be creative with and create this community with. I think it's been so special that it's been you. And, you know, we haven't always like started off close, you know? And so for us to grow this podcast and even us like personally, our friendship, I think it's been such a beautiful thing.
I know.
It's so crazy that we're here.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome.
I know. So, well, thank you guys again, all of you guys listening, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here sitting in a Spotify studio today and having this partnership with them. We're also really excited to share some exciting things that are coming our way. Like, we're dying to share it with you. So
many
tuned.
things.
Yeah.
So many things on the horizon.
Yes.
And I just love being in a studio with you. I feel like it's such a better vibe. Like, I can see your face. I can make fun of you easier.
Please.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. There's not that much to make fun of.
Oh, please.
That was a lie.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say.
Maury says that's a lie.
Let's talk about what you were saying to me before I pressed record. I'm just kidding.
What?
But this isn't the only reason why we're here in New York City.
Yeah.
You're here because of the
US Open.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what an incredible experience US Open is. I've played tennis for like 10 plus years. So for them to invite me to an amazing, incredible match, especially the number one like person in the world right now. I got to see him last night, Carlos Alcaraz. It was incredible. Like, it's just such a different energy when you're there in person. And so, yeah, just so much fun. But I love our New York little adventures. Every time we're in New York together, we do fun things. Like, what do you have going on this trip?
Well, you already know I'm in New York City.
I do. I just want you to tell our listeners, baby.
So I actually came for New York Fashion Week, but I also came to visit a boy, so a little New York City guy.
I think they know. If they've been listening to our episodes, they know about New York City boy.
So this trip is half and half. I'm going to go to some of the New York Fashion Week events and then also spend time with him and just to see like where it can go.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I'm a little bit nervous because I don't think he knows I have IBS. And
usually that's like the first thing you ever disclose to somebody.
Okay, wait. Can I? Ooh. So I was trying to talk about poop with him and he was just like, I don't like talking about that stuff. And I was like, is that a red flag? Like, am I the red flag or are you the red flag?
He's gonna have to get comfortable talking about poop with you.
That's the first time I've had a guy I'm dating say that to me. Because I feel like with all my past boyfriends, like it was just like a very, like I would use it, like I would talk about it as like a joke.
Yeah.
Or just like openly
whatever,
like
yeah.
reference like me using
You're
the bathroom. I wasn't just like openly talking about it. I wasn't like,
hey, I love poop.
I was just like referencing like, oh, I had a stomach ache, and I was about to say like, oh, it was something like bowel movement related, and he's like, oh no, I don't like talking about that stuff.
Did you use the word bowel? I hate that word.
I did. I was
moist
just like,
and bowel.
Those are my two most used words in my vocabulary.
I'm
But
literally gonna
anyways,
throw
I
up.
started to talk about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't like talking about that stuff." And I was like, "What?"
You're like, that's half my life.
And I felt awkward. I was like, I actually felt uncomfortable, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think this is gonna work out," because I talk about it all the time, like with my girlfriends, not really with my family, but like with my girlfriends, with like
Why is
with
this so
you
funny?
particularly, because I'm always running to the bathroom before we press record.
Mhm.
And like all my past boyfriends, we would just like not like we would just like reference it. I don't know. Like we would just be like for example, Shane, when we had to share that hotel room in Mexico for our post pods honeymoon, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to ruin the toilet, turn the TV on loud or leave the hotel room." Like,
Yeah, you had like it was easy. It's a part of
yeah.
life, Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't a huge I don't like talking about that stuff. But like
Really?
with
We
you,
talk about it all the time.
well, yeah, with you because I'm just like it's easy now because you bring it up so often. I can't be like, really, I don't want to discuss this, but it's half our conversations.
But like when I'm
it's
running,
not a bad thing.
when I'm like running to the bathroom, like what do you want me to say?
What I'm trying to tell you is originally I don't like talking about it, right? So maybe with this person, you just have to expose it more to him and then he'll get comfortable.
Or I respect his boundaries, but I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out. You can't, yeah. So you're going to have to.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. Like my relationship with him.
It's not going to, really, it's not going to go to shit, literally. Get it? I'm so funny.
Yeah, it's literally gonna go to shit.
Oh,
So-
no. I think you got to just ease him into it. Like maybe don't use the words bowel. Maybe just be like,
What else do I use it when my stomach is literally fucking talking and
just say I have to I have to use the bathroom. I have to go. Like use don't use trigger words to poop.
Well, anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. I'm sure that he will dump me after this weekend.
So Natalie's weekend consists of New York Fashion Week events and poop conversations.
Yeah, and yeah,
And a little bit of love sprinkled in there.
yeah. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'm
that for you.
not hopeful, but you win some, you lose some.
Honestly, I'm gonna skip out on all the New York Fashion Week events this weekend. I'm so tired. I miss my bed.
Yeah.
I've been traveling for the last 3.5 weeks. I'm ready to be at home,
Yeah.
chilling.
And quite honestly, I think that sometimes it could be overrated. I think a lot of people go to just be seen and not because they're really into fashion. I think there's one event I really want to go to because I really like the brand. They
Yeah.
make a lot of the suits that I wear.
Ooh, I love
and
that.
I'm a big suits girl.
Oh,
so,
same girly.
But I just want to see that their new
Retweet.
I just want to see what's new. But beyond that, I feel like
Yeah.
the other ones don't really I'm not really interested.
Mhm.
But I think it's still really fun that we get those opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in the mindset of I don't want to be seen. I'm just I just want to go home. But wait, so have you watched the new Love is Blind trailer?
For season 5?
Yeah, for season 5.
I just watched it today.
Same.
What are your thoughts?
Here's my thing with new cast of any show that I watch, it takes me a little bit of time to warm up to them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I watched it 5 times.
You did?
Yeah. Because I'm okay, let me get the feel for it. It feels trailers are always this. They're always drama filled. There's very crazy things happening. I'm trying to put it all together. I'm what is going on? Who's talking to who? But it looks exciting. I don't know. I'm excited for it. We'll see what happens.
For me, when I first watched it, I didn't really get any feelings from it.
Yeah.
When I watched ours, it evoked. I don't know if it's because I was
I was just gonna say we were on it. That's
the way
why.
the song and the trailer was made and evoked some sort of emotion for
Feeling.
me. But the
Mhm.
same thing with season 3 and 4. It's like season 3 was more a glammy vibe, and I felt
Mhm.
wow, this is really just
Yeah.
it's gonna be you could feel it's gonna be a crazy season.
Mhm.
Same with 4. I felt more there's more
Attached.
yeah, there was you come off watching the trailer and be yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way with seeing season 5's trailer. I feel like it was just kind of like
All
put
over the
together.
place.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great point. I also think, like, is it because, you know, when we were on season 2, 3, and 4 kind of hit like close to home still, you know, because we're still fresh off the feelings of the show. And like, as more seasons come out, are we becoming more like desensitized to it kind of? I don't, that could be a reason. I don't know. You're right though. It like didn't, that's why I watched it 5 times. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to feel something, you know? But again, takes me a minute to warm up.
Yeah. I'm curious to see who is on the cast. I kind of have an idea. People are predicting who's on the cast based on this Variety article that
Mm.
released like the entire cast, but they only put the social media handles for 5 men and 5 women. So people
Okay.
are thinking the people with the social media handles
Mhm.
in that Variety article or that Variety cast release
Yeah.
are the people who are going to be part of the main cast.
Oh, so it's kind of a giveaway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so someone sent that to our DMs on Out of the Pods, and so
Mm-hmm.
it kind of just like I was like, oh, these are going to be the people like
Yeah.
I need to watch out for
Yeah.
in the trailer.
Yeah, even the trailer, it's so like you can see like kind of faces, or like by hair color, you can see like who's getting engaged, who gets down on one knee, you know what I mean? Or like who
Yeah.
makes it to the wedding scenes. So you kind of have like small telltales of it. But yeah, let's see what this cast is gonna.
It doesn't seem like the cast is very diverse though.
Mm.
If we're going off of the Variety article and the people with social media handles are like the main
Mhm.
cast members, you know, I think that this is probably going to be the least diverse.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be the least diverse Love is Blind cast, which is kind of disappointing. Like I kind of get it because you can't like force people to like get together
Yeah.
and like it's kind of out of the control of the producers to, you know, like
Wait, do we know what season this is? Or do we know what city this is?
yeah, it's Houston.
Oh, Houston, thank
Yeah.
you. Because I was going off of diversity, like based on the like the location of the season. You know what I
That
mean?
makes sense.
Yeah, because you know you never know like who applies, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the broader cast is pretty diverse, but I think the people who got engaged aren't. But it made me think
Mm.
about like for season 4, how they like cut all the Asian women
Yeah.
who like got engaged,
Yeah.
and I was like, what the heck? So I hope they didn't do it like that this time. But still, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I know we said on the podcast previously how like as there's more seasons, people do it for like I don't want to say like disingenuous reasons, but less people I feel like are going to do it
Yeah,
for
there's
like
more factors into
Yeah.
it than just love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious like if we'll kind of see that with this cast.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Stay
All
tuned
right.
for us, right?
But enough about Love is Blind because we are talking about the Ultimatum season 2.
Woo! I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of you guys, if you saw my notes, they're like 5 pages long.
Okay, well, that's great that you have a lot of thoughts because I have like very little thoughts.
Really?
Yeah, so Deepti and I just watched episodes 1 through 5, so we're
Yeah.
only recapping those episodes, and we haven't seen past those episodes either, so we
Yeah.
don't know what happens. Our like thoughts may change
Absolutely.
in next week's episode. But for the first 5, I thought it was kind of boring.
Really? Okay, I took a new perspective to looking at this, and I found it really interesting now because previously I used to look at the ultimatum and be like, I want like married couples to come out of it, or I want engaged couples to come out of it, like successful relationships. But I feel like I took a step back and thought about what the show is really about, and it's a learning process, you know? And so
Yeah.
now that I like look at it from that perspective, I feel like I'm just looking at the cast differently and what they're going through and their emotions differently now. So I don't know why, but I think it's like hitting home for me a little bit more.
Okay, I
Yeah.
get that. But here's the thing, I don't think anyone's really taking the experiment like that seriously, minus 1 or 2 people.
What do you mean by that? And who? I want to know.
So, okay. So the couples that match up after the choice,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't think any of them are real.
Okay.
I think the only person that it might be real for is Trey,
Mm-hmm.
whose original partner is Raya.
Raya. Mm-hmm.
And he's now partnered with Ryan.
Okay.
But beyond that, I think the other couples are just like they're not feeling their new partners.
Okay. I love that you said that. Here's my take on it. These couples are coming into the experiment being together for years, right?
Yeah.
So they have so much history and love there, and obviously issues as well. So the way I look at it, the new couples that are formed, it's going to be so hard for them to adjust to a new partner, live with them, all of these things. And also in that process, they're comparing it to their old partners, right?
Yeah.
So I look at it now where previous season, I was like, oh, I want these new matches to be successful. But in reality, all of these matches are supposed to teach you about your existing partner and not
Mm.
necessarily it be about falling in love with this new person, because how can you really do that in such a quick manner? You know what I mean? So
Okay, you're right.
yeah, so now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, whoa, okay. I feel like each couple, those are what my notes are about. Each couple is literally learning so much from their new partner of what they like, what they don't like, you know?
Wow, you are a very like you're a very what is the word? Like when you watch reality TV, you see it so differently. Me, I'm just like a trashy reality TV viewer. Like I just take it for what it is.
No, I get
Except for
that.
Love is Blind. That where I'm like, okay, I know some of the behind the scenes shit.
Introspective.
So like you could and we've met some of the cast so we could like share a little bit more. But
Hmm.
for the ultimatum, I just kind of took it like very surface level and I was
Yeah.
like, this is kind of like not very exciting. I think I'm also comparing it to season 1 where there was so much drama and such like out there personalities.
Yeah.
And for this season, I think beyond Lisa, who left early because she found out she was pregnant, I think everyone else is kind of like boring.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in like a bad or good way. I just mean
Hmm.
like they're not like great reality TV personalities.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um and that's like me. Like I know that I have like a really boring personality that probably,
No, you don't.
and it was exemplified on our season for sure, 100%. But
No.
it's just like the truth of it. It kind
Yeah.
of made for boring TV for me.
Yeah, honestly, okay. Here's my weirdly, when I first started watching it, I couldn't get through episode 1 because I was like, why
Same.
am I struggling getting through this? And I turned it off multiple times and I was like, well, this is difficult for me. But because we were recapping, I was like, let's go deep. So you gotta. You gotta fucking listen to this. You gotta watch it. I don't know if I was just in an emotional state of mind after the US Open, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna like really watch it. And I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. I feel like all of these couples are really have a lot of emotional growth, and I think they're learning a lot from each other, which is kind of fun. But can we really quickly talk about Lisa and Brian?
Yes, can we?
That's the only reason I went to episode 2.
I know. Look, the producers were pissed when Lisa found out she was pregnant and they had to leave the experiment because they were the couple ready to bring the drama.
100%.
Like Lisa getting mad at Brian for talking to Raya. Uh, that
What?
was kind of crazy how she went off. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
It was very mean.
Yeah.
And I get it. You're in a high emotional state of mind and you're just like, zero fucks are given. But like, there's cameras rolling. Like, be aware. But like, do I chalk it up to her like pregnancy, like hormones?
See, I don't because
No.
I don't know. I don't think pregnancy like makes you mean. Like how she was talking about Raya was like
Yeah.
pretty messed up.
I agree.
Like when she was like that Hooters girl, like Brian, I wouldn't have an issue if you like matched up with Roxanne because she could challenge you and like how is Raya gonna challenge you? I was like, what? You don't even know this girl.
Exactly. Exactly. And just because you have a certain profession doesn't mean you don't have a lot of depth, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? But can I tell you, I was also mad that they left because if they were in the cast still, if they stayed, the choice I feel like would be so different because what happens if because Raya was connecting with Brian as well, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, what would have happened? Now all the couples just like swapped.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Brian was really feeling Raya
Yeah.
that he would have absolutely chose her during the choice.
Yeah.
And obviously like, that didn't happen.
Right. So like how would
Um,
that have like kind of mixed things up a little bit?
So I don't know if you felt this. Do you think it was like very convenient that she found out she was pregnant during filming?
Yeah. I did. I was like, what is how my thoughts. I couldn't even form thoughts because I was just like, how did this happen? Like, why are you in this situation? You know what I mean? And yeah, it was kind of
I,
really impeccable timing because she's like, absolutely not with this other girl.
yeah, because I feel like Lisa was really struggling with the entire experiment.
She was
Like,
gonna leave.
yeah. So I don't know. And like Brian wanted to continue on with the experiment. So for her to say, she's pregnant, happy for them though. But
Mhm.
maybe we're looking too much into it. But I was like, oh, it kind of like, I don't know, kind of like worked out because there's no way Lisa would have survived this experiment.
I agree. And I thought also it was kind of odd that they didn't come to the choice and just talk to the rest of the cast and be like, hey, like, we're pregnant.
Yeah.
They just chose to leave and just kind of have like a solo scene together. And I thought that was like, oh, okay. I just was
Yeah.
hoping they'd come, you know?
Okay. Quick question for you. Why didn't Vanessa come
Oh, yeah.
to the choice?
I noticed that.
Vanessa Lachey.
Yeah.
Like, Nick was just like alone. So I was like, what happened?
Soloing it up. Maybe Vanessa's pregnant. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. That was a kid. I was a joke. I don't know why she wasn't there. I thought maybe she was filming for her new show, like the NCIS Hawaii.
But that's
she's
been
on.
going on for a while, right?
Yeah, so maybe there was like a schedule conflict, but I have no idea. I'm not sure why.
I was curious. I was wondering, I don't know when they filmed this season of The Ultimatum, but I was wondering if it coincided with the backlash from the live reunion and she was just like over it.
Yeah, but she was she was like at the beginning scenes.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know, man. I have no idea what happened though.
Yeah, but still really happy for Lisa and Brian. Yeah. I know, like Brian says, like a baby doesn't fix your problems.
That's one thing, yeah.
But I feel like I forgot why Lisa gave Brian the choice. Do you remember?
Brian just didn't want to.
Like he felt like he wasn't like financially ready, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The fight that Lisa and Brian had about Raya, when Lisa like hit his face or like touched his face, that was shocking to me. I don't know.
It was a lot.
I did see some comments in our DMs about like, can you talk about that? Like, was that domestic violence? And I want to say like, yeah, it was. Like someone DM'd us being like, that was really irresponsible that the production team put that scene in, but I don't think it was. I think that like those types of actions shouldn't be hidden. Like if people do them, then like it should be shown for the most part, in my opinion. So they could be told like that was wrong.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the best kind of like feedback you get when you do something stupid on a TV show and you've got like millions, not millions, but like people telling you like, hey, that was not okay.
Yeah. I don't know if my thought process is right or wrong in this because I absolutely do not think like physical altercations or physical violence in any way is like good. But in that incident isolated alone, I feel like she just like kind of pushed him. It was aggressive for sure. But I think like if it like snowballs into more things and it's very frequent, I think it becomes a problem for sure.
In my point of view, it wasn't okay that she did that. Like you should never put your hands on a partner.
Yeah.
I didn't like, but I don't have the issue that it showed on TV as like some people do. Like people are like, that should have never showed. I actually think it should have, but I don't like the women at the choice talking about it and kind of like making it seem like it wasn't a big deal of what Lisa did. I don't know if they know that Lisa like pushed or like kind of, I don't know how to explain what
like
she
kind of
did.
shoved his face, I guess.
Like I don't know if they know that, but I don't like how it was kind of like they were kind of excusing it a little
like
bit.
Downplayed it a little.
So
yeah,
that was where those are the types of things where I was like, well, like that should never be seen as okay, so like don't downplay it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think it was definitely awkward, and it shows like a part of the relationship that like unfortunately sucks because I would hate to have it be highlighted, but I think it's an important lesson. So
I need to check out their Instagram. I'm curious to see like
we love a Netflix baby.
Do we?
Yeah. We're big on Netflix.
But I am very happy for them. I feel like the way Brian responded when Lisa told him that she was pregnant was just like very, very sweet. And just like very mature of him. I mean, it was definitely it seems like it was a surprise to both of them. So speaking about Raya though, were you shocked that she matched with James at the choice?
Yes. Honestly,
I was too.
I thought that she was. I remember there was a scene when they were dating, and Raya was gonna like. She had a conversation with James. I don't know. It felt like a backup conversation because I don't know. Things were like in turmoil with Brian, and she's like, "I could see us living together, don't you?" Like that kind of thing. it was like a little seed planted, but afterwards I was like, oh, she actually picked him. Because who else was she gonna pick? After Brian left, there was no one else that she really connected with. But I was like, oh, this is gonna be an interesting. I didn't think that they were compatible.
Did James pick Raya though?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't the other way around though, was it?
They both have to pick each
Oh,
other.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was that. Yeah, I didn't really see a lot of chemistry with that couple. I feel like that one was like a little bit forced because Ryan and Trey chose each other. I
Mm-hmm.
think they had a stronger connection than Raya and James.
Yeah.
I think you can't really tell by the show, but that's just like my thought based on how like these relationships progressed when they moved in together and became
Mm-hmm.
like a married couple.
Yeah.
But I was really shocked. Um, you know that phone call that James has with his friend?
Yes.
I think after the first night with Raya or during the first night with Raya,
Mm-hmm.
living together, you could tell like I once that phone call played, I was like, there's no way him and
He's checked
Raya
out.
are gonna he is all about Ryan. Like
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, as soon as he walked into that apartment with Raya, he knew that he had fucked up because he was like, remember at the choice, he was just like, or he said he was retrospecting about the choice and he was like, wow, the fact that Trey was saying all these positive things about Ryan and I lacked to see it. I think he like really was like, oh fuck, like I'm about to lose her. Like, will I lose her? Oh man, that was tough. Poor James. Oh man.
Yeah, so I just that's a couple that I don't really believe. I know editors were trying their hardest to make it sound like, you know, these couples, all of them really were more romantic than I actually think that they were in real life. I mean, I was thinking back to a conversation between James and Raya, how they talk about how foreplay is more than like, making out. And I think the editors are trying to make it into like a more romantic conversation, but I really think it was just like a dead combo.
Yeah, especially because they're like, here's all these sex cards, like
Yeah.
say them out loud and whatever. But honestly, after that one scene, I was like, there's some tension here, and I don't think it's gonna work out at
When
all.
Raya's talking about her needing more physical
Yes, it was.
affection.
I felt awkward watching it,
Yeah.
so I could only imagine the energy in that room being like so much tension. Because I get what James is saying. Like, if you don't have that physical aspect to it, it's hard. Or I guess I related more to Raya in that instance
Yeah.
because she was saying how like this is not really a marriage, but in reality, like, how do you expect it to be? Like, do you want to be fucking? Like, how? What do you think is intimacy? I guess it doesn't necessarily has to be. It doesn't have to be physical, but they're not connecting on any other level.
Yeah. Well, I think to her point, she was like, we don't need to be fucking. Like, she was like, I just want to, like, hold your hand. I want to hug. So I was like, I kind of get it, but I also understand, like, James' point of view. Like, if you don't romantically like someone, because it sounds like he doesn't,
No.
like, it's hard to, like, do those types of things without feeling inauthentic.
Yeah, 100%.
So I get where she's coming from of like, this is the experiment. Like, let's really act like we're a couple. Like, this is the whole thing. And I also understand that James can't get there.
No, 100%. And also after having that conversation, like, imagine trying to be intimate after that, like trying to hold, like it would just feel so awkward and forced. Like I wasn't about it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I love Ryan. I'm not gonna lie, she is like
I
a
love
sweetheart. So I
her.
was like, look, I get it. Look, if I was dating Ryan, yeah, it'd be really hard to like not be thinking of her and to like see another woman. I was like, I get it.
I 100% get it. Like I think for James, he found out that he is way more in love with Ryan than he like understood. And sometimes I really feel like you have to lose somebody or have the feeling of like actually losing them to understand that like they don't want to ever let go.
Yeah.
But you know what I found really interesting is when James goes into at the guys' night. Remember when James is like, "Oh, there's some things that I haven't told Ryan yet." Mind you, they've been dating for 6 years now.
7.
7, and they're like, "Oh, there's like something I haven't told her, and that's why I can't emotionally connect with her completely." And I'm like, there's got to be some trauma that he hasn't exposed to her.
Okay, he made it so dramatic. Well, we do know that he cheated on her, so I wonder if it's that. But he says that he also
There's
hasn't
more.
told Raya about it, and he did tell Raya that he cheated on Ryan at some
Right,
point. So
right.
I don't think it's that.
No, it's something to do with his family, he said. Like, he said he went through something with his mom and dad
Oh, I didn't catch that
growing
part.
up.
I literally thought, I was like, did you murder someone, dude? Like,
No.
what's going on?
No, I think it's like, I don't know, but I'm really excited to find out. I had to stop myself at episode 5, but I was like, what is going on with
I know.
James?
I really liked that conversation between James and Trey. I feel like Trey was really mature during it. Like he
Mhm.
was like I liked how he did reveal like he developed feelings for Ryan, but I
Mhm.
also liked where he was telling James like, you know, this is what Ryan says, like what the issue in your relationship is, as if he like wants the best for Ryan. Like it was
Yes.
very like mature, like they're just trying to help each other out type of thing.
Yes.
And I loved that because you know that actual feelings are involved, especially on Trey's side when it
Mhm.
comes to Ryan. So I think that was more of like a very
It
like
was very
authentic
yeah.
conversation than the other ones with the guys.
Yeah, but okay, Natalie, that is exactly when I decided that this show was more about learning about the existing relationships already than it is
Mhm.
about forming the new ones. Because especially that conversation, I thought it was so authentic and sweet that I was like, oh, like he's really giving him advice on how to move forward and how to make their relationship so much stronger. And like, especially if it's going to lead to a marriage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think Trey can sense that Ryan is not like
Into him.
in like that. And yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
don't think he knows that it's not going to go anywhere. I thought it was really sweet that he confessed his feelings, though.
I
I
did
I think
too.
Trey's going to end it with Raya for sure.
We'll talk about predictions at the end, but
Yeah.
that's my
Okay. I'm
thought
gonna
too.
save it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really liked that conversation. That made me like Trey a lot. But James kind of like creeped me out with there's things I've done. I was like, what? Like what?
Yeah, I really wanted to know. I was like, wait, what is going on with him? He seems like he's having a lot of emotional turmoil.
Okay, you
Like,
want to let's take guesses. Maybe he
I,
like cheated with like
what are you about
like
to say?
her mom.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. It sounds like really intense.
I think it's not the cheating thing. I think Ryan knows about the cheating. So it's got to be something more complicated. I think it has to do with some sort of family trauma from childhood.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's the only thing, like something so like sad. I hope it's not something really sad. I actually like James. He's a little sweetie. He's figuring
I
it out.
have
I think Ryan does deserve better though.
I have no feelings about James. Like I'm very neutral about him.
Really?
Yeah. Like I don't root for him, but I don't also like I'm not rooting for him and I don't like him, but I don't dislike him. So
Mhm.
let's see if that changes in the next sets of episodes. But Trey and Ryan, you're right. Very, very cute. I feel like Trey just doing those small things for Ryan. So Ryan says like, "Oh, he went to go get my car cleaned." Like
Yeah.
things like that. I feel like he definitely has like a lot of affection for her. But the
Mhm.
way she responds to him when especially when he said like, "Oh, I'm developing feelings for you." You could tell like she's
Not into it.
yeah.
I got the same vibe, like especially on that boat, right, where he was like expressing his love,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Yeah, like I feel like I'm learning a lot from you." I don't know exactly what she said, but yeah, I didn't get the vibe that she was
Yeah.
into it.
Like I feel like if she liked him back, she would be like, "I like you too," or "I'm developing feelings for you too." But instead she says like, "Oh, we have like a deep bond." Like she
And the bond is growing deeper.
yeah,
Like,
like
yeah,
she says everything going around saying like
the exact
yeah,
words.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally got that too. And honestly, what I do like about both of these people is that they are both givers. And I think what they're learning from each other is the fact that, like, they keep emptying their cups to people who just take, take, take. And both of them, since they're like giving affection to each other in the small things, I think like that's what's missing in their other relationships. So hopefully they'll take that back and like, give it to their partners and
Yeah.
like be more selfish a little bit.
You know who else I really liked
Hmm.
is Kat.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, but I feel so bad for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like my gosh, like the whole I don't know. I feel like Antonio was again that match was just because they're probably only the two left over
Yeah.
and they had a match and I feel like Antonio does not let her speak. Like every time there's a scene with the two of them, Kat and Antonio, it's Antonio just like being like I'm a piece of shit and I'm not good enough and blah 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 and here's me venting and Kat's like, "Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes." Like he
Okay,
never
yeah.
gives her the chance to talk.
I got the same vibe. Honestly, in my notes, I don't have much about Kat at all because I don't know Kat. I don't know Kat
Yeah.
at all. Like, the only thing I know about her is that she's quiet and she's shy and she's a little bit submissive, I guess, because that's what Alex
But
likes.
I do like Kat in the way that when she does talk, she's very like concise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, kind of like you could tell she's like a really good listener.
Yeah.
And the things she says, like she puts a lot of thought into the things that she says.
Right. Right.
Like especially when she was trying to kind of like defend Antonio when in her conversation with Roxanne.
Yes, at the girls' night.
You could just tell she's like very thoughtful in the things that she says.
And she was sure not to bash Alex.
Yes.
I really got that vibe. She was like, I'm not going to sit here and bash him like you are right now. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Respect.
So, but it sucks though, because I feel like with every scene with Antonio, obviously you could tell there's like no chemistry there. They're kind of in this like fake relationship. I'm sure they sleep in like different rooms or something. But it's always about Antonio and like, you know, his issues and his relationship with Roxanne.
Yeah. Yeah. Antonio and Roxanne are very interesting to me because obviously Roxanne is like the not aggressive. She's just like this like dominant personality.
Yeah.
And I think Antonio deep down like also has that side to him, but it's been so suppressed by Roxanne that like he literally is just so submissive to her. I don't know.
Well, Kat says it. She's like, I think that he deserves more credit than he gives himself.
Yeah.
But I think probably he's been like emasculated and probably belittled by Roxanne for so long. But I think that Roxanne has made Alex feel like he's not good enough and that really thinks that about himself now.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he says like at the guys' night, like, oh, like he's talking about like one of his like faults, but the way he talks about it, it's like someone definitely told you that, and you're just like regurgitating what you've heard.
He's believing it.
Yeah.
But the problem with Antonio is that he doesn't change his actions to like make himself feel better. Like, remember when Roxanne's like, oh, like he's just like games a lot and just like doesn't really do much. I feel like for Antonio, he's scared to leave Roxanne because maybe Roxanne provides him the stability that he's looking for in himself, you know? Like, because what are you doing then?
And I feel like he's also like dependent on her.
Exactly.
Because she has made him feel like he's just not good enough. So he's probably like, you know, she's out of my league. She has a stability that I want or am looking for. And like, I'm just not good enough. Like, if I'm not with Roxanne, like, I'm not good enough for like someone else. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why he's always so anxious about their relationship. Oh, man. It's a lot. And I think Roxanne puts up with Antonio and his like laziness or like his ability to not do much. I don't know how to put it exactly.
Yeah.
But like she puts up with it because she needs somebody who's a little bit more submissive, because you start to see it in the later episodes with her relationship with Alex, which I was so surprised about. Were you surprised at the end of these 5 episodes?
Yes, because I thought that her and Alex maybe had the strongest connection.
Same.
And then all of a sudden on episode 5, they're talking shit about each other to
mad shit
to each other's exes or like respective partners that they arrived with. So I was like, what is going on? I thought you guys were like a great match. You guys are talking about like, oh, like we're so similar. Like he's what I want in a guy. Like that's what Roxanne is saying about Alex. And then all of a sudden she's telling Kat like, oh yeah, there's some red flags. Like he lies a lot.
Yeah.
White lies.
Yes. Like, what is happening? First of all, I agree with you. I thought it was the strongest connection because they also go into in episode 5, like the meeting their parents.
Yeah.
Did that happen last season? I don't even know if that happened.
No, it did. Definitely.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just tuned it out. But anyways, that was wild to me. And I actually like the parents' advice because they can like have an outside perspective, whatever. But it seemed like they had the strongest connection ever. They were like, oh my God, similarities. We are so strong, blah, blah, blah. But I knew it was going to blow up at some point because when you have 2 strong people in the same vicinity, it's hard to maintain like dominance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like who's going to like be submissive. And so you can't have 2 dominant people, I just feel like.
Do you think, though, Alex is that similar to Roxanne? I know that they, you know, are both very, like, money-focused and have, like, entrepreneurial spirit.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is me just pulling this out of my ass, actually. I'm just, like, surmising at this point. I feel like Alex is someone, or reminds me of someone I know who kind of, like, changes their personality to fit the expectation or who the other person wants them to be.
That's interesting.
Because like Roxanne even says this too, like, you know, Alex says like he works long hours, but she's like he naps during the day. So he like isn't working long hours. So I'm like, is Alex this like hardworking person, or like is this like business focused person that Roxanne that he's making himself out to be, or is it more so just for Roxanne?
Yeah, honestly, that's a fair point. I think I changed my mind about Alex when I got to episode 5 towards the end there when Roxanne started talking shit.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, why is she? And Alex did too. Alex called Roxanne mean.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, where did that come from? But, anyways, but with Alex, when Roxanne was saying those things, I kind of looked at it and I was like, oh, like, just because he started a company doesn't mean one that it's successful. I don't know how many hours he puts into it, because sometimes when people are in that state, like they kind of put up this front like they're always busy like doing things, and that's when Kat validated that. I was like, oh, like I feel like maybe it's a little bit of a front like on
Yeah.
Alex's part, that he is pretending to be this like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I'm so entrepreneurial.
You're entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial. And, you know, I don't know. I just felt like, yeah, it's a front.
Yeah. And my thing about Alex, and like Kat and Roxanne are talking about it in their conversation, is it's like they said, like he doesn't think he could do anything wrong. Like he doesn't really like think he has
Listen.
faults.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get that vibe. Like I think he thinks he's better than Kat.
I think so too.
Actually, I think Roxanne thinks that too about Antonio, but like it's those personalities where it's like they think that they're above their partners, and I hate those personalities.
Dude, you're so right. And like, it's so funny that those are the two people that swapped, because it's kind of like they each get a taste of their own medicine, if that makes sense. Because they're both battling to see like, why are you trying to fight with me? Am I the better like business person, or you? Like, it's just a lot. I'm like, ooh,
I know,
man.
But going back to Alex, his conversation with Antonio, how freaking awkward was that?
That was really awkward.
And I'm sorry, but
talk shit to my face. He's what he says.
That was, I feel like there was more to that conversation. It was just like edited in. But the fact he said it, I was like, what? The fact that Antonio like was just so dismissive of what Alex said was a little bit like weird. I was like, are you really lacking that, you know, awareness of like what your partner thinks of you? Like, it's very clear Roxanne does not respect Antonio.
Yeah.
Like, she has talked shit about him. I bet he watched these episodes and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what he expected Alex to say more of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, I want details. Talk shit to my face. And I was just like, I'm a little confused on what Antonio's looking for. Like, does he want like specific things that Roxanne has said about him? Like, I don't know.
Literally, this is what happened. Antonio says to Alex, be direct with me. Alex is direct with him and says, she doesn't respect you.
He's like, say more.
And then Antonio goes, you're lying. You're just trying to ruin my relationship. I was like, what do you want?
Yeah, no, that was interesting. Man. Okay, you don't think that there's any chance in this world that Alex is trying to get Roxanne, right? Like, that he would ever say something just to make Antonio think it's not going to work out.
No, I think based on what Roxanne was telling Kat and what Alex was telling Antonio, I think that behind the scenes they weren't like working out.
Yeah. Yeah, there seems to be some turmoil there. There's a lot of pent up tension.
I mean,
oh man,
I don't know, but Antonio makes it really hard for anyone to like converse with him and be truthful about it. I was like, Antonio, if you wanted the truth, then don't be so freaking aggressive in your conversation with Alex.
Yeah.
Like, you either want the truth or you don't. Don't be so like, I don't know. Here's my thing. Antonio and Roxanne confuse me. They're both just, I just don't know. Like, Antonio confuses me in terms of like the way he views himself, but also how he like puts Roxanne on a pedestal and like allows him to be treated the way he is by her. And then Roxanne confuses me because if you are talking so much shit about your partner, especially in front of the cameras, like, what are you doing in a relationship with them?
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
First of
I'm
all,
very confused by that relationship.
I love the way you say pedestal.
What is it?
I say pedestal.
I feel like you're pronouncing it the right way.
I know, but I don't want to correct you because I like it. Stool again, talking about
Pedestal.
shit. I'm fucking dead. But truly, I think this is where I stand with Antonio and Roxanne.
Okay.
I think Roxanne is a dominant personality. She does not want another dominant type in her life. Like, as much as she wants to pretend like she loves Alex and his like, I love your like, whatever. I don't think that she likes that. I think in reality, I think she likes the fact that Antonio doesn't have a lot going on. I think she likes him to be submissive to her. And I think that's why they're together. Because if she truly valued what Alex was bringing to the table about all of this entrepreneur, whatever, then she would have left Antonio so long ago. She would not have put up with it. But she likes the fact that she can be dominant over him. I mean, she even says it when she's talking to her parents. You know me, Dad. I don't know. I don't do well with other dominant personalities.
Yeah.
So I think that's like kind of where they stand. Same with Alex and Kat. It's the same
true.
energy.
That's true. It just sucks for like
for Kat and Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
it's
sucks.
like you've got partners who really don't like respect what you bring to the table besides your quote unquote submissive personalities. Speaking about Roxanne though, can we talk about how awkward it was when she was talking about how like Alex would want to sleep with her and hook up with her in front of Kat? I was like, dude, like read the room.
Yeah, honestly, can I just at the beginning when I saw the girls' night and the guys' night thing happening, I was like, this is so cruel. Like, it's so cruel of them to do this. But I understood later, like, okay, this is like valuable. They have a lot to talk about and to learn from each other. But that scene, can I just commend Kat, because I could literally see in her face how like hurt she looked. But she just put up with it, and she was like, yeah, this is the process. Like, oh. Poor Kat. I love Kat. Like,
I think it just shows that Roxanne is just inconsiderate. She kind of like is in her own little world. I don't know. I'm not loving Roxanne or Antonio in these episodes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it changes, but I think right now like Roxanne's really just like pissing me off. I think she's coming off very like she thinks so highly of herself.
Entitled,
just everything is just the vibes are off. The other person that I'm not really loving is Alex. I think that he just also thinks very highly of himself.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in seeing his dynamic with Kat when they move in together.
I love that you said that, because I also agree. I think that Roxanne and Alex really are pretentious, and they think so, like you said, so highly of each other, of themselves. And so I think that they're getting a taste of their own medicine, putting those two together, and they're going to value and respect their partners when they do the swap. 100%, because they're going to be like, oh my God, I truly appreciate you. You're not combative. You are like so like willing to like help me with my needs, all this stuff. Like, I think they're just good.
A better personality fit.
Yes, but I do think that Kat and Antonio are going to grow some balls, and they're going to be like, I'm not putting up with this shit anymore, so tables are going to be turned, baby.
No, I hope that's what happens specifically for Kat.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? You are so nice. You are so pretty. Don't let this man make it seem like he is the better one in that relationship.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyways, predictions though on these couples, like who do you think is going to make it at the end, get engaged? What do you think is going to happen?
I think that Antonio is too scared to leave Roxanne, and I think Roxanne's going to get sick of Alex. So when they do the swap, I feel like Antonio is going to propose.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't know if Roxanne is going to say yes or no, because she really is not into marriage with Antonio. She's into marriage, but not with Antonio.
I think that they'll still be together though at the reunion.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think they're going to be working on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a feeling Ryan and James are going to get engaged. I think you could tell James is starting to like appreciate Ryan more because Trey likes Ryan. And so I think they will definitely get engaged at the end.
Yeah, I concur. I think James is definitely going to propose, but I think Ryan is really going to think about it because the way Trey is so like lovable and just gives so much, I think she's going to expect that from James, and hopefully she'll ask that of him during the swap. So I do hope that they make it, because they've been together a while, and
Yeah.
Who else?
Raya and Trey.
Raya and Trey are not gonna make it.
That's what I think
Absolutely
too.
not. They're not making
You know,
it.
James said it best in his conversation with Trey. He's like, I don't think Raya is like ready for marriage. Like, I think
Yeah.
you need to explore other potential opportunities, which was like crazy
Mm-hmm.
for James to tell that to Trey.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it on like the show where she's not ready for marriage, but clearly there's things happening where James thinks that. So I think that they won't actually make it. I think
Yeah.
it's like foreshadowing something.
Yeah, I agree. And also with Alex and Kat, I think that Kat deserves more.
Same, I do too.
Like just the way Alex talks about her, I don't think it's like he just needs to let her go. In my opinion.
But I think knowing Kat's personalities, because I have friends with similar personalities, again, I'm just doing it based on what I'm seeing on the
She's gonna
show. I
stay.
feel like she'll stay.
I know, because she doesn't realize how good she is. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't realize that she deserves more. And I think Alex is gonna just like. But do you think Alex is gonna like propose?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think after going through that with Roxanne, I think he realizes like that Kat is a better fit for his personality. Even if it's not, you know, a good fit on her end, that I think that he will propose.
That sucks.
Which she will love because she's the one who gave the ultimatum, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've realized one thing. I've realized that sometimes longevity in a relationship is, you know, doesn't make a difference. I've also learned that sometimes love, no matter how much you love that person, compatibility is everything. And I think that's what this show really like highlights. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not about love. It's not about how long you've been together. It's really about those compatibility traits. And so I'm hoping that the right people stay together. And the wrong
100%.
ones let
I'm just
go.
not sure who the right people are right now. You know, like
Yeah.
who are the good couples? It's getting kind of like murky in my mind.
Yeah. Well, let's wait. 6 through 10, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. So those were our thoughts on episodes 1 through 5 of the Ultimatum season 2. Next week we are recapping episodes 6 through 10, which includes the reunion.
Ooh.
So, we are excited for that. But let us know your thoughts on what you thought about our recap and also these episodes. Feel free to DM us, leave a comment at our Instagram page on Out of the Pods.
And make sure you leave a review and subscribe.
See you next Wednesday.
Bye.